What's up, guys? Specstar here today with my second battle for NPL, and I'm going up here against Carney and trying to make this battle less frustrating than the last one, which had me very nearly burning down an orphanage. But we're going to rebound here, hopefully, against Carney, and he has got himself a team standing in our way consisting of Mew, Mega Venusaur, Tyrantrum, Zapdos, Mamoswine, and the always fun Blissey. And I have got myself... Oh, by the way, I should have to say, you guys, you have to deal with my awkward face cam placing because the face cam template was bugging my OCD. So I just went with the non-face cam one and plopped my face wherever there was the most space. So as this guy's trying to walk on my keyboard... Were you trying to walk on my keyboard while I was recording? He got busted, though. Anyway, where was I? The last one was bugging my OCD, so I just plopped my face wherever there was the most space on the non-face cam one. So, here we are now. I'm going to switch over to my team, and this is what we've got here. You little... He's trying to move a pillow that he can't move, so I had to help him so he could lay down. Anyway, without too many more distractions from that guy, I've got myself here a Mega Metachan running Adamant, enough speed, I think, for a base 80. Could be wrong. I think that's what it was. I've got High Jump Kick, Baton Pass, Fake Out, and Zen Headbutt. So the typical Fake Out, dual stab, and then instead of coverage, I'm rocking Baton Pass. That's because Mew is about as good of an answer to Metacham as there is physically defensive Mew. I imagine that would be a more frequent switch-in on this thing, so Baton Pass allows me to keep up momentum. Next up here, I've got physically defensive Celesteela. Nothing too special or too fun here, just being toxic with Celesteela. Throwing off toxic, seeding, slamming, trying to get some chip down on some things. Next up, we've got Latios. Fairly basic set. Specs, Draco Meteor, Psychic, Trick, and Shadow Ball. Trick covers things like the Blissey. Shadow Ball just kind of hits Mew without giving it the potential to just recover off like it can on Draco Meteor, completely cucking that move. Next up here, we've got Raikou. And we are running Rash for the Aura Sphere in this matchup. And just basically, it was most important for me to be able to outspeed base 100s with this thing. I didn't think too much other speed, being able to top his 110 was very important in this. I just would rather have the extra power and the Aura Sphere coverage on it, which covers things like the Tyrantrum and a few other things. Volt Switch, T-Bolt, Extra Sensory, which covers the Venusaur in particular. And yeah, that's my Raikou there. Just enough speed for 100s. And the Rash for the Aura Sphere. Next up here, I've got a Dugtrio. I got enough speed on it for a base 110. Running Reversal, Earthquake, Toxic, Stealth Rock. It covered a few things in this matchup. It did get up rocks for me, which was pretty nice. It had the potential to trap a few things. Even a reversal was potentially nice for Blissey. Toxic would have been nice to get off on Mew. And yeah, nothing too special about that set. And lastly here, we've got our Moltres running a Substitute Roost Hurricane Toxic set with Flyinium Z. Basically just flying coverage was all I thought I needed for this one. And I could kind of annoy him with Subtoxic and Roost. This thing just a little annoying for him to bring down once it gets in. Sky Strike gives it the extra power, which could potentially help with things like Mew if I can get it in range and other things like that. And I'm going to apologize because, again, I'm not going to have the best memory of turns or the team in my sets because this battle did happen a long time ago, so I'm dealing with that. And here we go. Speaking of battles that happened a long time ago, let's get it on the road here. He's going to lead off with Blissey. I'm going to lead off with Latios. Latios covered basically, there wasn't too much that I was going to be really upset with him leading against Latios, if anything. He leads the Blissey, and I'm just going to go ahead for the trick on this thing. Get that stupid, annoying thing out of the way somewhat. He's going to go for an S-Toss here, and then I'm going to bring in Moltres, knowing he's locked in the S-Toss. He's going to go into Zapdos, and I'm going to substitute up just to kind of feel him out. He's going to go for his own substitute, and that's actually very annoying for me. So I'm going to go for Hurricane, just to kind of feel it out, see if I can potentially break it. I can't, so there's got to be a little bit of bulk on the thing. I'm going to go into my Latios here, predicting that he would want to resub there and go for my Psychic there. He goes for the Discharge. Well, not predicting resub necessarily, but that or the Electric move, both of which Latios covered. He goes for Discharge. Annoyingly, that's going to paralyze my Latios. Very annoyingly. So I'm going to double out into my Raikou here. And that covered potentially him resubbing if he wanted to play that kind of game. And if he did want to do that, Raikou was kind of the best move for that. He instead wants to go into Blissey, and I am just going to Volt Switch out, thinking he wouldn't want to go Mammo here. I'm going to go to Moltres, just kind of feel out what he wants to lock into. He's going to go for S-Toss and get burned by my Burn Body. That's going to reduce his physical attack. That's nice. I'm going to go right for a Toxic with my Moltres, opting not to screw around, just want to catch the Zapdos coming in. That's very important to get off. I'm just going to go right for a Roost here as he opts to go for Heat Wave. I'm not exactly sure why. Potentially for Doug Trio, I guess. I'm going to sub up. He's going to Discharge, and I'm just going to kind of play around with this thing because I'm able to Roost and mitigate the power of his electric moves. He's going to go into Blissey. I'm just going to Roost up. He'll go for S-Toss. That's fine. Blissey doesn't beat this. He goes back into Zapdos, and here we go. We're going to get in. I think this is where we get into a little bit of a stall type game with Moltres. Moltres is kind of set with him also having this kind of Zapdos. It gets a little bit annoying, but in general, I think it's my best play to kind of mess around with this and kind of see if he gives me the opportunity to get a KO with my Z move. We get the Zapdos pretty low there, which is nice, but then the Blissey comes back in. I'm going to keep firing off Hurricanes. The thing's locked. He's going to hurt himself in Confusion, unfortunately for him, but then I'm going to miss my Hurricane, so he's able to get up his Rocks. That was actually... I was scratching my head there because I actually ruled out the thing having Rocks because I thought he would have clicked it 50 times before if he had it, but he does get them up now, so that's going to be a little bit annoying. Here comes the Zapdos here. I'm going to miss my Hurricane. That one really sucks because it would have for sure put it in range of the Sky Strike, and then the Zapdos would have been gone, and Moltres would have really opened up here. He would have had a real hard time dealing with it, but that's Mons and that's Hurricane. So I'm just gonna go for another Hurricane. Just kind of continuing on with this fun trend. Zapdos now back up to full health. Continuing Hurricane. Having fun with the Hurricanes, the Moltres. Sub up here, Hurricane the Blissey. He's going to soft boiled. I'm going to Roost up here, I believe. No, I just went right for the Hurricane. Keep it going. This time the Zapdos is going to get weakened, and I am actually going to learn a lesson about Pokemon on this turn. I'm going to get the Zapdos weakened, and I'm going to learn that you cannot go for a Supersonic Sky Strike if you run out of PP on Hurricane. I was just wanting to click Hurricane. I knew if the Zapdos came in, I would then be able to Sky Strike it. But I'm going to run out of PP on Hurricane and learn that you cannot click Sky Strike if you are out of PP on your flying move. The more you learn, the better. So, I'm going to learn a fun lesson on Pokemon after 50 turns of Moltres and be forced out with no PP on my Hurricane. So, I'm going to go to Raikou, which is the best switching I had for this thing. See Roost up. He's going to go into Blissey, and I believe I did go for Volt Switch there. I'm going to bring in my Medicham here, and I'm actually going to go right for the Baton Pass, predicting the Mew. But instead, he's just willing to sack off Blissey, which I really didn't think he would do, as he just goes for his S-toss. I'm going to be forced to bring in my Steela, and I'm going to go for my Leech Seed since it was the best move if he stayed in or went Zapdos. He brings in Zapdos, so I'm just going to click Seeds again. I'm going to miss my Seeds, unfortunately. And then I'm going to go into my Raikou here. He's going to, I believe, Roost Up. Nope, he's going to go for Heat Wave. Alright. Yeah, again, this battle happened a long time ago, and it was not really something I was intending to relive as more than I had to. I'm going to go for Orisu here in case he wanted to make an aggressive play into Mamo. Instead, he was willing to let the Zapdos take a Thunderbolt, which, alright, I guess. Here, I'm going to save my Raikou and go into Dugtrio as he opts to go into Venusaur that turn. I'm going to go into my Latios. He goes for a Giga Drain here. And I'm going to get Leftovers Recovery. He goes on a Blissey. I'm going to go for Psychic. One more takes him out. Except, no, it doesn't. I'm going to get Paralyzed. Fun game. Pokemon's a great game. I'm going to go back in my Medicham here, kind of forced to, as he Soft Boils. Well, not forced to. He locked in a Soft Boiled. He goes into Zapdos. I again click Baton Pass, predicting the Mew. He goes, would have taken that thing out was that Headbutt, and he was not static, so I'm not really sure why he hasn't been going into Mew. And in a few turns, I'm gonna bring Medicham back in. This time, I am forced to. And in this time, as I click Baton Pass, he does go out in the Mew, and I'm gonna get Dugtrio into Toxic that thing, which is nice. And he is Roost bulky, so it is even more perplexing why it hasn't come in before on the Medicham. He shows to be Calm Mind as I get up my rocks. I'm just going to try and get the thing weakened as possible to make sure I can revenge it. And my safest way to revenge the thing is going to be bringing in my Medicham here and going for Fake Out into an attack. He's shown bulk, that tells me he is not faster than I am, if he does have any speed at all. And I'm going to be able to pick off the Mew there with my Zen Headbutt, which surprisingly landed. He brings in the Tyrantrum, that's my cue to just sack off the Moltres, try to get a burn, not going to get the burn. I'm going to have to bring in my Steela here and actually predict him to want to save the Tyrantrum since I don't have any switch into it at all and it cleans up my team. Instead, he's going to let the Steela attack it as I click Leech Seeds. And then here, he's going to bring in Blissey. I'm actually going to predict it and go into my Medicham. I'll get the high jump KO with my Medicham, so yay, landed that. Brings in the Tyrantrum. Raikou's time to die, unfortunately. He locks in Outrage, which means I do get to bring in my Steela, and I get to click my Heavy Slam on this thing. He is a fat, heavy motherfucker, so he survives it. I'm going to go for Protect, trying to see if I can get something with the Confusion here, maybe. He goes for the Outrage, and I'm going to be able to survive it and take out the Tyrantrum here. At least good to see that stupid thing go down. But Mamoswine comes in, and I've got nothing left for it. He goes for Icicle Spear, and I am going to go for my Heavy Slam because if he would have got 2, which is, I think it's a 40% chance to hit twice or 37%. I'm going to go for the Protect, and then instead of double protecting, I'm just going to go for my Heavy Slam because there was that chance of it hitting twice. But as the games went, of course, it wasn't going to. Medicham will come in, and it's going to drop to the Icicle Spear, the Mamoswine being Scarfed, and Latios will drop too, and in the most fun way possible, we are going to drop to 0-2, and you know what, I shouldn't say more because there is an open case on the local orphanage burning, and I have been advised by my lawyer to say nothing on the subject, but you know what, that's the way the cookie crumbles when you play the great game of Pokemon. I'm going to unfortunately move on to 0-2 and be very pleased. Next up, we do face our good buddy Verd, though, so hopefully we can turn our fortunes around by crushing our greatest Australian friend. And that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it a lot more than I did. Thank you guys for watching regardless. Love you guys. Have yourself a good night.